Very good. So now we are going to practice our last meditation together. And this is a meditation that is actually extremely helpful in helping us to shift from the first stage to the second and even the third stages. It helps us to move beyond self-interest. To recognizing real others, and also to developing true compassion. Compassion is different from empathy. Empathy is when we can feel some let's say sympathy to others' pain. We can identify with it. We can care for them. But compassion is when we feel unity of hearts. And from this unity, from being one with, we respond to their pain. So this technique can actually help us to really evolve emotionally. To have a mature heart. The technique is called Tonglen. It is from Tibetan Buddhism. And Tonglen means sending and receiving. So it is a sort of an exchange of energies that takes place through our heart. So what we basically do in Tonglen is something again that we can do all day long, whenever we feel like it, whenever it feels right. This is the uniqueness of all the meditations that we learn during this seminar. Whenever you are confronted with someone who is in suffering, this can be your child, it can be your partner, it can be your colleague or your friend or someone on the street. You simply visualize their suffering, and in the in-breath you take it into your heart and transform it into light. You simply use your heart as a transformer. And you are able then, through your heart power, you are able to send these people in suffering relief. And if you do this with conviction, you may even actually influence the karmic patterns that hold this person in bondage. Now, in the in-breath, we breathe in the feelings, their feelings, their emotional condition. Of course, these are, in terms of our most immediate reaction, these are feelings we would normally would wish to get rid of. But here we transcend our immediate self-interest. That's how we begin to train shifting from first stage. So we breathe in, and emotions, feelings that we usually want to get rid of, and then we breathe out emotions that we usually would prefer to keep for ourselves. So now it is important to understand that it is quite common for people to be afraid that this sadness or suffering might stick into them. But actually this is not dangerous at all. Only when we are afraid of such feelings, we resist them, that they stick. So what we do is that we imagine ourselves that we are in open space, like there is nothing inside us. We are just space or awareness. And when you imagine that you are space, open space, then nothing can stick. Second is the very realization, and that's such an awakening of our heart power, that our heart actually can act like a transformer. What our heart does is that it can actively respond to the suffering that it encounters. The deeper nature of our heart is that it can alchemize darkness. Why? Because what hearts know to do best is to bring everything to its original state. And what is the original state of everything before it has been twisted? That is the state of pure love. So we are only afraid of absorbing darkness as long as we are not familiar with this heart power. But when you activate this power, you're starting to recognize that love is the so-called invincible weapon that your heart holds, and this is the greatest power in the universe. So again, we are learning to transcend here our egoic interest by going beyond our immediate response to pain. So instead of seeking to cling to our own pleasure, we give it away, we share it. And in this way, the tightness of our heart begins to dissolve. So this also may go against the trend of positive thinking. In positive thinking, we believe that we need to throw out all our negativity and breathe in joy and happiness. That's good, but here we develop something else. It's a different type of joy and happiness, which are related to compassion. So let's do it together. Let's widen the heart. Okay, so now we can sit and close our eyes. And we will as we meditate with our eyes closed, let us get in touch with the very feeling of compassion. What it means to be able to feel compassion. You can even invoke the presence of spiritual masters so that they can inspire you to have compassion born within your heart. So now begin by setting your intention to invite suffering in and to remain present with it. Since you will be taking in feelings such as grief, anger, anxiety, It's important that you feel comfortable where you are. Remember that if anything comes up that you don't feel able to handle at the moment, you may simply return to your breath and take a more relaxed approach to the practice. So imagine yourself that you are in a way like your body is like a balloon with no substance whatsoever, just filled with air. This will enable you to be in a state of open awareness. Where negativity has nowhere to stick in your body. So now, in this open state where your body is just light substance, bring your awareness to your breath. And as you inhale, begin visualizing pollution entering your body. Like smoke, dark cloud, or just a general feeling of obstruction and darkness. Visualize this dense dark cloud in front of you. Inhale it into the center of your heart. And feel how the light of your heart transforms it so that when you exhale, you are breathing out bright, pure, nourishing air. So bring it in with the in-breath. And just as if your body is a plant that receives pollution and sends out clean energy, release light, clean air in return. Trust that you can actually do it. So now imagine in front of you, as vividly as possible, someone you care for who is experiencing emotional discomfort or suffering. And really feel their pain through your heart's understanding. Try and imagine every aspect of this person's pain and distress. Then, as you feel your heart opening up in compassion toward the person, imagine that all of his or her suffering manifests together and gathers into a great mass of hot, black, grimy smoke. Or dark clouds surrounding him or her. Now move your awareness to your heart area. And breathe in deeply, imagining yourself inhaling those dark, heavy, uncomfortable, cloudy feelings directly into your heart. Visualize that with every in-breath, you're letting in this mass of black smoke. And this smoke slowly dissolves in the very core of your heart. And the first thing it does is that it also destroys all traces of self-centeredness in you. All selfishness. Now, as your heart transforms this, imagine now that with this transformation, your enlightened heart is fully revealed. Your self-centeredness is dissolving. Your enlightened Buddha heart is coming into life. Now imagine that your heart is a source of bright, warm, compassionate light. So now that when you are breathing out, you are breathing that light into the person who is suffering. And as you're breathing out this light, the dark feelings are disappearing without a trace. Transforming into a bright, warm light. That alleviates his or her suffering. Also visualize how the rays of this brilliant, cooling light of peace, joy, happiness, and well-being that you send to your friend in pain are also purifying his or her negative karma. As soon as the light of your heart streams out to touch your friend in pain, feel a firm conviction that his or her negative karma has been purified. Feel the deep joy that he or she has been totally freed of suffering and pain. So now, let's extend the very same compassion to some stranger or general population. This can be a particular community, some impoverished country. Try to think of some community of beings on this earth in pain. Visualize them in front of you. With these dark, heavy feelings surrounding them. Now, just as you did with your loved ones, imagine this dark cloud and as you inhale, take into the center of your heart these cloudy, dark feelings away from those people, deep into your own heart. Feel how you're taking it all away from them with utmost generosity. And as the dark feelings settle into your heart, imagine that they are disappearing without a trace into the light of your compassionate heart. Feel how your heart is expanding with this practice. It's growing in capacity, it doesn't shrink. And as this darkness is transformed, send out to this community the transformed energy. And feel and visualize how they are now enveloped by the calm and comforting light that you are breathing out from your heart. And now, with this expanded heart, bring up in front of you someone who you have difficulty with, someone you find it difficult to associate with. And once again, even if your heart contracts at first, recognize this person's suffering. The negative karma surrounding them as dark cloud. With the light of your compassion, suck it in with the in-breath, deep, deep into the center of your heart. Feel how it is all disappearing, how you are embracing with compassion that destroys both your selfishness and the other's pain. And send back light, and the transformed energy. So now with your ever-expanding heart, feel how this practice only makes the heart bigger. Continue with this cycle of inhaling and exhaling, suffering and relief. And begin to visualize suffering beyond any individual person. Just expand in circles, letting your heart include the people who live on your block, people who live on your neighborhood, the people who live in your city. Feel how all the collective dark cloud is entering, flowing into your ever compassionate heart. And this Buddha heart is releasing back all the transformed energy. Pure, clean energy. So continue to allow the size of the group to gradually expand until you are taking in suffering from any and all directions. And also breathing and healing in every out breath, in all directions as well. Breathe into your Buddha heart all the miseries of all humans, animals, plants on this planet. You can actually visualize the planet Earth surrounded by dark cloud of negativity and suffering. But your heart is now even bigger than the planet. Able to take in all this darkness. And to send out healing light. So how big is your heart? Now return with your attention to the breathing. Continue with a few deep breaths, or even sighs if it feels good to do so. As you relax and let go, in the present moment, slowly come out of meditation. So let's now relax from the practice. We'll take 20 minutes break. We'll meet again at 4:45. Any questions or sharing, you're more than welcome to ask. Thank you.